Hi there, Eve here for another session of Let's Eat with Eve. Today, what we're gonna talk about is nighttime eating. Somebody asked me a great question about what to do about nighttime eating, and so that's what I want to answer today while I enjoy my lunch. And today what I have created here is, it's quite delicious. It's an experiment, and so far when I sampled it, it tasted pretty good. It's some lentil pasta with some mushrooms and onions and zucchini with some goat cheese in there and some truffle salt. So it's kind of like a mishmash of flavors. I never made it before, and the sample was pretty good. So before we get started in our meal, let's take a moment just to get centered and present in this moment. So let's take a few breaths here together. Ooh, maybe even inhaling or taking in the scent of our food, the aroma. Maybe look at the food that you're about to eat, the array of colors, the shapes, the sizes. Set an intention. My intention is to enjoy this meal with you, to share what I have to say about nighttime eating, to have a good time, to not ruin my lipstick. I think I've mastered that. And yeah, to really enjoy my food. Maybe I said that one twice. How about you take a moment to set your intentions and let's get started. So I think this question about nighttime eating is a really good one because so many people struggle with eating at night. It seems to be a trigger for a lot of people, and because oftentimes they don't have the wherewithal or the energy or the focus that they do the first half of the day, it could be a lot more challenging to deal with. So I'm excited to talk about it. And I think this is important too because, by the way, this turned out pretty good. I would make it again. It turns out when people, when their nighttime eating doesn't go the way that they want it to, there seems to be a lot of judgment. It could interfere with sleep physically because if they're feeling too full, but also mentally. People could go to bed at night feeling really annoyed with themselves, have nightmares about food, or even wake up annoyed with themselves about what happened the night before. So I think this is a very important subject. I thought about this question, and I feel like there's so many ways to answer and to address nighttime eating. And so to make it easier, I actually drew out a table to go over this. Get it? It's a table. It's a joke. I know, that's not the kind of table I'm talking about. This is the kind of table I'm talking about, but I just thought this was really fun. And I know some people who follow me are brilliant artists, yet they're afraid to share their art in the world. And I just want you to know, if I could share my art, my table with you, so can you. So enough of that. Let's talk about nighttime eating. And when I was thinking about this nighttime eating, I realized that it basically falls into a couple of categories, because you could have the desire to eat at nighttime because you're physically hungry. So sometimes that nighttime eating might actually be because you're actually physically hungry, and sometimes that nighttime desire to eat may not be of physical hunger. So we're going to talk about physically hungry urge to eat at night and non-physical hunger urge to eat at night and how to handle that. Also, another category, and this is why I created that table I showed you just a moment ago, is because the nighttime eating, you could be conscious of what's going on or unconscious of what's going on. So I'm going to talk about each category and some tips and some strategies and some things to think about no matter what category you're in. So let's go over this. Please bear with me as I try to hold my sign and eat at the same time and go over this. Should be pretty fun, interesting, entertaining, at least for me. I hope you're having a good time. How's your food, by the way? Do you like goat cheese? Do you like mushrooms? I didn't always like goat cheese. then something happened and then I suddenly fell in love. This is really good. The flavors. Okay, I'm gonna get to the topic at hand in just a minute. I'm gonna just take one more bite. Okay. And I'm really excited because sometimes it's hard to coordinate my meal being hot while I go over this, so it's actually hot and it tastes really good. So let's talk about nighttime eating. Again, we have the physically hungry, the not physically hungry, the conscious and the not conscious. And I'm gonna talk about what to do in each situation. So let's first go over what to do if you're physically hungry and you're conscious of you being physically hungry. So if you notice that you're physically hungry and you're conscious and you're aware of your urge to eat and your need to eat in that moment, eat. By all means, please satisfy yourself. Oftentimes people are afraid to satisfy themselves or to satisfy their hunger when they're hungry at night. But I want you to know, if you go to bed too hungry, it may interfere with your sleep. It's kind of like going to bed with a full bladder. You could fall asleep, but your sleep may not be as restful. So it's important to address your biological needs before going to bed, and that includes your biological need for food. When you want to eat something, some things to think about, especially if you're about to go to bed soon, is choosing something you feel digests well for you and having an amount that doesn't interfere with your rest that night. So again, if you're conscious and you're physically hungry, you want to go ahead and eat, and you want to think about choosing something that you know digests well and that you feel won't interfere with your rest. What about if you're physically hungry and you're not conscious of that fact? What if you're physically hungry and you're not aware of the fact that that might be going on? How to handle that situation? Well, first of all, it could be helpful to expect to get hungry. I feel a big mistake people make, oftentimes people who eat early dinners, like let's say they're eating dinner like at 4 or 5 p.m. It's natural to get hungry about 3 to 4 hours after a meal. So that means if somebody's eating as early as 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere around 8 or 9, hunger may reappear again. So the first tidbit I want you to know is to expect to get hungry. Sometimes it could be even helpful to anticipate to get hungry by calculating about 3 to 4 hours after your meal, because that's when you may actually get hungry again. So anticipating your hunger could be very helpful here. Also, something that could be really helpful is to actually have some food available. Again, a big mistake I see people making is they're not anticipating getting hungry at night again. So when they go into the pantry, they go in to get like a little bite of something, and then they go get a little bite of something else and a little bite of something else, and before they know it, they have overeaten, they're feeling uncomfortable. So instead, if you could actually anticipate getting hungry and have something prepared or know what you may choose to have later on, could be very helpful here. And again, choosing something that you know digests well. I couldn't resist, guys. This tastes really good. So, and the third tip is, and I think this is really important, is giving yourself permission. It seems like somewhere eating at night has gotten a bad rap, like we're not allowed to eat at night. But the truth is, the best time to eat is when you're physically hungry. So if you're physically hungry, even if it's late at night, you wanna let yourself eat. We never do that with any other biological need where we tell ourselves, where we ever cut ourselves off like that. You know, we never tell ourselves like, hey, I went pee 2 times today, that's enough for the day, or you know, I need to stop now. We don't do that. It's kind of funny too. So you want to give yourself permission to eat when you're physically hungry. So let's talk about, what if you're not physically hungry? What if you're conscious and you're aware and you're not physically hungry? What are some things to think about when you're in that situation? Well, first of all, what are you feeling? What is that urge to eat coming from? What are you experiencing? What does it feel like in your body? So take a moment to experience for yourself, what does that non-hunger urge feel like? Where are you feeling it in your body? I like for you to ask yourself this question So you strengthen that mind-body connection. So you could begin differentiating between physical hunger and this non-physical hunger urge to eat that happens at night. The next question you could ask yourself is, what is it I'm trying to feel? What is it I want to feel? You know, do you want to feel like you're at a movie theater and you want to enjoy some popcorn while you're watching a movie? Or are you alone in your home and are you feeling lonely? Do you want to feel hugged? Or are you feeling some sadness because you've had a difficult day and you want to express some of your emotions? What is it you're feeling? And ask yourself how to get it, how to get your need addressed, or how you can handle it, how you can navigate it. Can you accept it? So let me give you some examples. So let's decide that it's nighttime and you want to watch a movie with your family and you want to recreate a movie feel. So you might decide, you know what, I'm going to pop some popcorn and watch this movie with some popcorn because, you know, I like that feeling and I want to evoke that feeling. Great. Let's say you're feeling like you want to hug, but you're home alone. You know, so maybe you could pull out your teddy bear and maybe give your teddy bear a squeeze, and that might make you feel loved. Or maybe you could call a friend and have a conversation with a friend about how you're feeling. Maybe if what you're feeling is sad, can you accept that you're feeling sad? Can you experience that feeling of sadness in your body? So pull up a box of tissues and sit with yourself. Does that feel accessible to you? I know that may be a challenge for some, but when you're conscious and you're not physically hungry, it's a real opportunity to tune into what's going on, how are you feeling, how is it you want to feel, and how can you meet that directly. Sometimes it may involve food. You know, maybe you want to sit next to the fireplace and enjoy a hot cup of cocoa. Right now I'm sweating because it's so hot here in California today, so that's not what I want. So maybe I would prefer a slushie right now because it's so hot. You know, and sometimes what may be warranted may not be food. Maybe it's about being present with what you're feeling, or maybe it's about expressing or emoting what you're feeling. What about if you're not physically hungry and you're not conscious of that? So first of all, sometimes you may not realize that you have the urge to eat or that this whole thing is going on until after you finish a bag of whatever, or after you ate the whole box or you completed the container, right? So sometimes it may happen after the fact, and that's okay. In fact, another thing is if you notice that you're eating when you're not physically hungry and you're not aware of it, is you want to have some forgiveness and some kindness to yourself. Because whenever you're eating and you're not physically hungry, it's never random, it's never arbitrary. As one of my mentors would say, school is in session. You know, he wouldn't say that about food and eating, he would say that about life in general anytime you're upset, but that's how I feel. Anytime you're eating and it's outside of physical hunger, it means that there's some part of you trying to get your attention. So if you could be kind to yourself, if you could be forgiving to yourself, that's going to be really important. Because sometimes people make the mistake and they feel like they need to overcompensate for the next time, or like they need to punish themselves, and that could actually set you up into a cycle of undereating, punishment, overeating, and all that stuff. You don't have to go there. And so instead of going that route, as if you're not conscious and you're eating when you're not physically hungry, is a good question to ask yourself is, what can you learn for next time? You know, what can you learn from this situation or what happened with food that could support you for next time? So I hope these tips were helpful, and I just want you to take a moment here. Well, I want to take a moment with you to just come back to the food. Take a moment. Got a little burpee here, maybe because I didn't chew so well, because I got excited to share my tables, both of my tables. So how is your food looking to you? Where are you in that hunger fullness scale? I'm still hungry. I'm still like a 4, like I still have some slight hunger. So I'm gonna take a few bites here. Where are you? Where are you in that hunger fullness scale? How is your food looking? Are you breathing? Are you tasting? Are you chewing? Let's do it together. What are you having? You know, I'm sure I didn't cover everything, right? There's a lot to be talked about nighttime eating. Oftentimes at night, our defenses are down, you know, so it can make it a little bit more challenging to navigate. But if you're noticing it and you want to deal with it, good for you. You're in the right place. So a great place to start is to identify where on that table you feel your nighttime eating is occurring. So I'll review. Do you feel like it could be possible that you're physically hungry, you know? And if so, are you aware of it? Are you not aware of it? Again, if it's happening a few hours after your last meal, you may very well be hungry again, right? So that's something I want you to anticipate and to assess for yourself. How about if you're not physically hungry? Are you aware of it or not aware of it? Where in this table are you? And if you're not aware of it, again, good for you for being here. It means school is in session. What can you do to raise the consciousness of that when that happens at night? So I think that's everything I had to say. So again, comment below. Let me know where in this table you saw yourself. Let me know if you were eating with me, what you had. And please let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. I love your comments. I try to answer them as soon as I can. I try to get to every single one, so I'm here, I am listening. And also, there's one more thing I wanted to say, but I forgot. So yeah, let me know what you're eating, where on the table you feel you are, and if there's anything that you want me to talk about. So thank you so much for watching. Happy eating, everybody. Bye.